What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is, and we all collectively are, the Vertcoin Corps. Today is November 16th, 2022. Do be sure to smash that like, leave a comment below, and of course, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Market cap 10 million, volume 37,000, circulating supply 65,466,000 Vertcoin. Currently, the price is 15 cents, 927 satoshis against a Bitcoin value of 16,562 United States horse carrots. Peering into the charts here against USD, the only thing I really want to show you here is that while all of this chaos has been going on with FTX and everything else, we really haven't come down that far. Here you see we've come down from, this is Tuesday the 8th when everything really started. We were at about 18 cents, and since then we've come down to where we are now at about 15 cents. And by comparison, that's doing pretty good. Like if we look at Bitcoin against the dollar, it fell from, we can go back here to the 8th again, 20,000 to 16,000. We can look at the other GPU coins, and we have Raven coin here falling from 3 cents to 2 cents. It doesn't sound like a lot, but that's pretty significant. That's over a third of their value wiped out. Also, we've got Ethereum Classic, fell from $25 to $19 now. So by comparison, we're actually doing pretty good. If we look at Vertcoin against Bitcoin right now, we see we are forming a bullish looking pattern right here. We are kind of at the bottom of it right now. But if you look at all these wicks, they're all reaching up. We've noted before that usually is a good indicator of higher price action to come. So we're pretty much there. We're ready to go. Also, if you look at the hash rates here, taking a look at the beginning when Ethereum first merged, we made it up to 6.8 gigahash, and since then we've gone up to about 8. We've hit about 8 gigahash multiple times, and most recently was just yesterday at 7.68 gigahash. Right now we're down, but it's just part of this up down cycle that we've been seeing between the upper fives and right about 8 gigahash. But if we look at Raven coin, it initially peaked at 16 terahash and has done nothing but decrease since then. It did come up and peak again here on the 22nd of September, so just a couple of days after the merge, but since then all it's done is slide to where now it's just at 10 terahash. Same thing with Ethereum Classic, but even worse. It peaked out here on the 16th of September at almost 200 terahash, and all it's done is slide right down to where it is now at 121 terahash. So you could say that it really isn't that big of a deal for Vertcoin. You can say that it's not doing that great by comparison, just because it has a lower hash rate, or it's only gigahash anyways. But we can actually go by the multiples, like what did it X in hash rate, and before the merge it was at 1.5 gigahash, so like 1 gigahash there, and all the way up to almost 8 gigahash. So that's almost an 8x. So we're bouncing between 5 and 8x. Raven coin went from 3 terahash all the way up to 16 and is now only at 10 terahash. So it's barely managing to hang on to just over a 3x. Ethereum Classic went from 40 terahash to now 122 terahash. So same thing, just over 3x. Ergo is another one that they talk about. I haven't really paid much attention to it, but you look at, like Son of a Tech or whatever, and like all they talk about is Raven coin, Ethereum Classic, and this Ergo thing, right? Ergo, same. I mean, it's done even worse. All it's done since the merge is collapse in value. Here you see it on merge day at this peak on September 15th. The floor just falls out. It immediately negates this whole green candle. Then this whole pump continues downward, finds some relief here at the beginning of October, and then falls straight back down even further until we finally get to the beginning of this whole FTX disaster. And then from there at that $2 range, it loses another quarter of its value to where it is now at about $1.50. I'll show you the Vertcoin chart again. Here's the 15th. It came down a little bit. We had some news selling there, and then it pumped right back up. Here just before the merge on the 12th, it had hit 26 cents, and then after the merge 3 days later on the 18th, 26 cents again. And you continue to see these spikes all the way across until just recently on the 26th of October, you see it come up to 25, almost 26 cents again. And that's been pretty much the price action that we've been seeing since the merge. Here we started to come back up after the merge, and we were at about 18, 19 cents, and that's the same level we were at when the FTX disaster struck, and that brought us down just a couple of pennies to 15 cents. So in that regard, yeah, we're doing a lot better than Ergo and Ravencoin and Ethereum Classic. So there's really no reason for these other tech-based crypto YouTubers to be harping on about Raven, Ergo, and Ethereum Classic. Unless, of course, they lost money in those trades chasing hype and they're using their channels to try to pump the price back up so they can get some of their money back out of it, but that's none of my business. But why is Vertcoin effectively winning this race? Well, I think that answer has everything to do with the mining algorithm, VertHash. Not only are you mining a very solid, proven Asic-resistant coin that's been through hell and come out shining on the other end, it's better than it's ever been, but the algorithm is going to keep your cards running cooler. They're not going to put out as much heat. They're not going to require as much electricity to run. It's going to extend the life of your hardware. And with prices the way they currently are, with mining profitability being generally low across the board, what you're mining is basically just a matter of personal preference. And if you're someone that's jumped around from algorithm to algorithm, mining this coin and that one just to see what the profitability is like, you're going to notice that your system, be it your computer or your mining rig, runs better on VertHash. You're still earning a considerable number of coins, and the profitability is actually one of the best in the space. And are you mining just a random cryptocurrency with some far-fetched value proposition like whatever the fuck Ergo does? No, you're mining Vertcoin, a direct descendant of Bitcoin. It mirrors Bitcoin development. It's Satoshi's actual vision executed in a more fair and decentralized way than even Bitcoin itself. It can go anywhere Bitcoin can go. Lightning networks, submarine swaps, direct interchangeability with Bitcoin. So it only makes sense that the hash rate will stay up this high. I mean, once you've mined it, what else would you want to mine? Some highly speculative, very risky asset with a prayer for a use case that's just going to dog the shit out of your machine and doesn't even predate the 2017 bull run? Why? Anyway, let's get on with the actual purpose of this video. AAX deposit listing campaign is back. The project of this phase is Vertcoin. Dear AAX users, AAX has always believed that consensus is value. In order to provide more and better development opportunities for more communities with a better community foundation, AAX is launching another deposit listing campaign on November 2nd, 2022. The specific rules are as follows. Event period 9 a.m. November 2nd to 9 a.m. November 30th UTC. Deposit listing project details, project name Vertcoin, token abbreviation VTC. Deposit listing condition, more than 200 newly registered users with actual VTC deposit amount, original deposit minus fees of more than 280 VTC. About Vertcoin. Vertcoin is a P2P open source cryptocurrency originally based on Litecoin, now keeping up to date with Bitcoin as a base. Vertcoin reaches consensus using a GPU optimized ASIC resistant proof of work algorithm. Built as the people's coin, the Vertcoin ascribes primacy to keeping its mining functions decentralized and seeks to allow anyone with a personal computer to join the Vertcoin network. I don't really know how much those fees would be, but I have seen floating around Twitter people suggesting 281 VTC, which would make sense since it does say more than 280 VTC, just to be safe. So I have to admit, when I first saw this come across my Twitter, I was pretty skeptical. I didn't know what to think of it. It was kind of surprising to me that an exchange was actually reaching out to us, but then, unfortunately, it ended up being around the time that the whole FTX debacle was taking place, so I was kind of growing increasingly suspicious of really any exchange, and the fact that this one just came out of nowhere and was trying to get more users by getting the Vertcoin community in there was just really kind of a red flag. At least I perceived it to be one at the time. But this listing campaign has been going on since before the FTX thing, about a good week before, so that's a good sign. I looked them up on YouTube. They've got some 550 videos posted on their channel. They've done a lot of speaking events and conferences around the world and seem to really be growing into a strong and relevant exchange. I saw one video with one of their guys speaking on a stage that, among other things, had an advert for Gay IO on it, and with the whole crypto.com thing circulating around, that kind of set off some alarms. And then I saw that they have this 60% APY for the first 7 days, which really doesn't amount to much, and it kind of seemed like an unnecessary ploy to try to get people to come onto the exchange and lock up their funds. And I saw a couple of other efforts to get people onto the exchange, but I guess if you're going to run an exchange, you're going to want people to get onto it. That's kind of the point, right? So like I said, all these things kind of set off red flags at first, but then looking into it a little bit more, I decided, you know, time will tell on which exchanges are going to survive this whole debacle with solvency and everything like that. So we'll see how the chips fall. But as far as this deposit listing campaign goes, I think we should go for it. Having been in the Vertcoin community for a long time, I've seen all the effort that's gone into getting listed on different exchanges. And I don't think that the current situation, as precarious as it may be, should prevent us from taking advantage of this opportunity. I've seen us go to some pretty extreme lengths, you know, like tweeting at Binance every day for almost a year, you know, like, and we've actually collected money to give to a Changely, something that we kind of decided at some point as a community was one thing that we wouldn't do, but we did that just to get listed somewhere else. So I don't think that 281 VTC from 200 members of the community is too much to ask. We've all been willing to chip in some for a better exposure, and so even if the whole thing goes to hell and this exchange falls apart, goes insolvent, there's nothing that can be done about the funds that are in there, at least for the time being. You've only lost 281 VTC. Did the math on that earlier. Right now it's like $45, something that we all would have gladly thrown into a pot to get listed somewhere. And this, if it is completely legit, as good as they say they're trying to make it, I mean, it basically sounds like Binance. It could very easily become a Binance competitor. Why wouldn't we want to be on that? This wasn't the speech I thought I was going to give on the topic, but again, having done more research into it, I don't think we should just walk away from it. So I haven't made an account yet, but I probably will here in the next couple of days. And once I do, I'll probably try to get on here and give you guys an update on what the exchange is like and what my experience is with it up to that point. I did find this video on YouTube. I highly recommend you guys give it a watch. I'll link it in the description below. This guy goes through explaining what AAX does and what it is and the different options for trading and etc. that are available on AAX exchange. I'm gonna tell you guys from what I've seen and what I've learned so far that if you're not experienced in all of the different kinds of, I mean, because this exchange has a little bit of everything: derivatives, futures, you can trade with leverage, etc. on there. So if you're not familiar with that kind of trading, please don't get on there and get yourselves in trouble, because this seems like a place that's a bit more, I don't want to say more advanced than Bittrex, because Bittrex is a very simple, very straightforward, awesome exchange, but it doesn't offer all of the craziness that this does, like what you would have with Bittrex. It has its own stablecoin, like not Bittrex, I'm sorry, Binance. Binance has the BNB token. They have the AAB token that is basically used the same way. So be prepared and just don't get in there and get overwhelmed with all the different options that you have and potential to get yourselves in trouble, please. If anybody out there has any input about the exchange that you'd like to share with the community, please do so in the comments down below. And if you've already made an account with the exchange for the purpose of this listing, give us your ideas below. Let us know what you think so far, and that might give the rest of us an idea of how many people have already jumped in. And that brings us to the Vertcoin Corps tweet of the week. This week's tweet coming in with 23 likes, 8 retweets from John Doe. Been holding Bitcoin and Vertcoin since 2017. I know VTC hasn't been performing well price-wise, but I am never worried about rug pull or getting scammed. Lunk, Celsius, FTX, and numerous other rugs and scams should make people think about OG proof of work coins. Just my 2 cents. I couldn't agree more. In my opinion, the space has just gotten entirely too wild with so many different technologies, and a lot of it doesn't even make sense, and there's a good reason for it. A lot of it is scams and rug pulls and just disasters waiting to happen. With all of that going on, there's really nothing more comforting than a good OG proof of work cryptocurrency. Absolutely. Thank you for that tweet and for continuing to support the People's Coin. Speaking of continued support, I want to thank Bittrex and its team for being the awesome exchange that it is, and for keeping us on their platform when most other exchanges delisted us way back. Had it not been for them keeping us alive, this community would have faded out and gone elsewhere a long time ago. And I think we owe Bittrex a debt of gratitude for that. And I was thinking, with all of this uncertainty going on, that it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to look inward when it comes to trying to get more exposure for Vertcoin. By that I mean, rather than seeking to get listed on other exchanges, not saying anything bad about AAX, I appreciate them for coming forward and giving us the opportunity to be listed there, but I don't think it would be a bad idea for us also to show support back to Bittrex that has supported us all this time. And by doing so, I mean maybe trying to help Bittrex bring more people onto its platform. That's another way that we could gain exposure for ourselves by gaining exposure for Bittrex exchange. There are going to be a lot of people out there with a lot of uncertainty, not knowing which exchanges to trust. And I think we'd be doing them, Bittrex, and ourselves a service by letting them know what an amazing and straightforward exchange Bittrex has been. I don't think it'd be a bad idea. Just a thought. And what a coincidence this is. I just got this email from Bittrex. The Bittrex team has been working hard at adding new features and functionality for our customers. Check it out. Instant buy. Over 100 tokens and 250 markets. Earn rewards. So yeah, you can stake your Cardano with Bittrex now, and also they have a referral program. So that's perfect timing on their part on sending this email. I wanted to read to you all this other email that I got from Bittrex the other day, just for the purpose of putting your minds at ease and letting you know that we are in good hands exchange-wise with Bittrex. It reads, when we first founded Bittrex in 2014, we had a simple vision: to deliver the fastest and most secure trading platform for the community. We have always put security and customer trust first. Recent industry developments have raised serious questions about crypto liquidity and the transparency of digital asset exchanges. In light of mounting concerns around these issues, we want to clarify key aspects of how Bittrex Inc. operates and why our exchange remains one of the most trustworthy in the digital asset space. Customer assets. Bittrex maintains 100% of the digital assets purchased or deposited by customers on the Bittrex platform. Bittrex does not lend or lock up these customer assets, and a customer's assets are always and will always be available for withdrawal by that customer. Security. Bittrex was founded on the principles of trust, safety, and transparency, and we have maintained that focus in the time since. Examples include routine financial audits by trusted global accounting firms, SOC 2 Type 2 examinations conducted by Deloitte, which are intended to demonstrate the design, implementation, and operating effectiveness of controls to achieve heightened security and availability standards according to the trust service criteria set by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. Membership in the Crypto Market Integrity Coalition, which brings together market participants in the digital asset space who are committed to enabling a safe and sensibly regulated crypto ecosystem. Regulatory and legal compliance. Bittrex is regulated as a money service business with the U.S. Department of Treasury and is further subject to regulation by each of the states where it has customers. We are routinely examined and audited by various regulatory entities in the states where we do business. Bittrex dedicates substantial resources to ensuring that we are in full compliance with all federal and state regulations. and we maintain industry-leading legal and compliance programs. Bittrex remains committed to being the easiest place to manage digital assets with a focus on security and trust, ensuring that our customers' funds are safe, secure, and accessible at all times. We appreciate your continued business and support. Sincerely, Richie Lai, co-founder and CEO. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, be careful out there. I'll see you in the next one. Vertcoin Corps, out.